Okay, here we go. We're back again. This time we're going to look at Lesson 1. Last time we were looking at starting here and getting started and all of the details of the course. So now we're actually going to look at a lesson. So we're at the home page for the course. On the left-hand side you'll see Lesson 1. So just click on it and it'll open up all of these links and what's in the lesson. If you scroll down, you'll see the lesson is right below the home page. Now, let's go back and review just a second what we talked about in the first video, just so we have it. So things to remember. Don't panic. Week 1 and 2 are going to be confusing, I trust you. We'll be flexible during this time. We'll simply talk and we'll work through it. Students must do substantial work during the first week, okay? Don't forget to do that. You'll be dropped from the class. Communication for the course will be through the private thread, and also we'll use that meeting room that I created that you'll find on the course homepage. Most of it will be nice. We're all here to learn. Everybody's going to be a little bit tense the first week. And you'll probably get tense if you get confused on the assignments. So don't get angry and don't get tense. Simply email or simply get in touch with me using the private thread. Keep copies of everything, okay? Just in case something goes south or a technological disaster happens. We don't have to redo a bunch of work. Late assignments, again, and getting behind, but late assignments, let's talk. Tell me what's going on so that we can get you up to par. Getting behind, if you get behind, again, I mean, if we're massive, if it's like, oh my gosh, I can't even see my head, I can't see anything, get in touch with me so we can figure out a plan. We'll work through it together. The initial forum post. Now, it's not written that it's got to be due at a certain time. I have a really strong suggestion, though, that it should be done by, and I forgot done. The initial forum post should be done by Wednesday. So, if you do it by Wednesday, then everybody has a chance to respond, and you don't have that pressure of trying to do it at the last minute. Firefox as a browser works best, okay, that I've found. And finally, have a plan B in case of technological disaster so you don't panic out. Those are the kind of the things we talked about. We talked about grades and things of that nature in the last video. Be sure you've done the tutorials also for the. So those are things to remember. The biggest one is be nice, okay? And call me or get in touch with me if you have trouble. Let's look at Lesson 1. And they're all laid out the same, so once you know the first one, you know them all. We have questions and concerns. Again, it's going to be a forum where you can ask a question. Everybody will see this one, and we'll respond and work our way through it. So there are lots of ways for you to get information. We have lesson instructions. We have that textbook is right there. And this is a slideshow that reviews everything that's in the book. It's fantastic, simply because it will give you the key concept and then it quizzes you on it. I suggest everybody does this even before you read the book sometimes, simply because it tells you what to expect in the book. It's a wonderful tool for you. Here's your textbook. If you click on this, you will be taken immediately. It takes a minute, so you have to be patient. You have to remember it's pulling down a great deal of information. And here is your textbook, Chapter 1. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? Let me see. This takes you previous page, last page. It just gives you a really great graphics. And you can read down through that. You can make it full page, okay? So it fits to page or it fits to width, whichever way you want it. If you come up here, maybe not. So that is your textbook. Now some of you may have trouble reading that, but I find that if you have a tablet, it's much easier to read it on a tablet. Oh my, an error has occurred. So if that happens, just go back to lesson 1. I hit the back arrow. It didn't like that. So we learned something. These are called breadcrumbs, by the way. And they're breadcrumbs to take you back to where you started at. An aside here. So let's look at the lesson instructions. This will tell you what to do. Read it, review it. This is the presentation. You'll do a discussion. There's 2 of them this week. One of them is for an introduction. And one of them is for the actual chapter. And then there are 2 assignments for you to do. And a quiz. So that kind of tells you what you're set up for. So now if I come down to, where am I in the scheme of life here? Let's just come to lesson 1 again. And you're back to the main page for the lesson. So you know what the presentation is. It's very nice. Here's your discussion question. You come in here. Your initial post is worth 30 points. Okay? And your 2 responses are worth 10 points each. Make sure you answer all of these questions that you find in here. And if we go back to lesson 1, so you've got your discussion forums, should be fairly easy. These are your assignments, and I'm going to create a template for you also to download with this. Here's your assignment right here. And they're usually, I think they have about 10 each in each one. This one has 11. So what you will do, and I'll create a template that has a place for you to input these answers, at least for the first couple of weeks, so you're not fighting that. All of these answers are in the book. You can pull your book up and answer these questions. Make sure you clearly mark what question you're doing. On the template, that will be clearly marked. I'll use Word for most of these, for all of them. When you're totally done with this, okay, you'll save the document and you will upload it. Back in this submit and save and submit your document, and then I will grade it for you. And if you get it turned in, again, if you get it turned in early, and that would be before Sunday, or actually before Monday, I will take it all the way up until Sunday night and give you a response. But if it's turned in on Monday, anytime during Monday, I'm not going to have time to give you a feedback or response for it. But if you turn it in before that date or that time, I will be able to give you feedback, and you can revise the assignment and turn it back in for more credit. I think that's a good way to learn. So there are 2 sets of lessons in this one. Lesson 1.2. And this one, oops, I got the wrong one, guys. Sorry about that. Right here. This one actually has 2 documents. One is the assignment sheet, and one is the financial statements that you're going to use on the latter part of that. So just be sure you catch on that. Now, don't panic on these assignments simply because I will give you check figures to look at. I will be available for comment if some of these don't make sense to you, or you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? We can go and meet in the meeting room and go through it online, because I can share my screen. So don't be afraid to ask for help. That's what I'm here for, to guide you and to help you. And finally, you have a quiz. And the quiz is directly out of the book. I believe it's timed, and I'm sorry, I don't know. I just realized I have my edit on, so if I turn this off, your screen will not have the edits. There. It will look simply like this. On the quiz, you can do it as many times as you want. It's not locked out for that. But your first attempt is the one that counts, so make sure your first attempt is good. Read the book, know where to find things in the book, obviously, and get your ducks in a row before you take the quiz. The presentation probably will give you a pretty good idea of the important key concepts that you need to study. And each lesson will be like that. That's lesson 1. Lesson 2, it's going to look really similar, okay? Here's your questions and concerns, your lesson instructions, your ebook, your presentation for that. You only have one discussion board now. Then you have 2 assignments and a quiz. And that's exactly how the entire course will flow for you. So I hope this has helped a bit. Questions? Please put them in questions and concerns, or put them in the private thread, and I will get them answered for you. Have a good class. Good luck.